You're listening to Systemic Error Podcast. The failure was designed.
Trump accused of hiding the real reason behind plane switch, based on an article by Adam Lynch. A president, a gift plane, and a cover story. The real story is not the switch. The headline event here is not that Donald Trump switched planes after the NATO summit. The story is that our president accepted a $400 million aircraft from a foreign royal family and then expected everyone to treat the logistics as mundane. That is not normal governance. It is patronage with wings. Leon Panetta's remarks matter because they point toward the real issue. Security risk is the visible problem, but the deeper problem is political corruption dressed up as convenience. A foreign-built plane given to the president is not just a transport decision. It is a channel of leverage, dependency, and potential intrusion. Who actually has power? Trump has the power here, not the reporters asking questions, not the former CIA director flagging risk, and not the public being asked to swallow a maintenance explanation. The institutional actor making the consequential choice is the president, who can turn a private indulgence into a state asset and then hide behind the language of procedure. That is the mechanism. Personal power first, bureaucratic rationalization second. Once the office is bent around the man, every explanation becomes a cover story candidate. Security as the convenient surface. Panetta says the plane should be made in the United States and equipped with U.S.-provided systems. That is the minimum sober response to a foreign-derived presidential aircraft. But the moment of concern should not be mistaken for the whole story. Security is the first-order risk because it is the easiest for establishment media to name without confronting the uglier fact the presidency has been treated as something that can be privately outfitted, gifted, and normalized. The real scandal is not only what might be hidden in the plane. It is what the arrangement says about the willingness of powerful people to blur public authority and private advantage, and call the result security concerns instead of corruption. The maintenance theater. Panetta clearly does not buy the maintenance explanation, and neither should anyone else without evidence. The source itself presents that explanation as suspect, and rightly so. Maintenance is a familiar bureaucratic fog machine, a thin technical excuse designed to keep questions from reaching the level of intent. If the White House wanted this to read as routine, it would not need a former CIA director to publicly say, in effect, that the story does not add up. When the explanation is this fragile, it usually means the explanation is not the point, the patent behind the plane. This is what oligarchic politics looks like in practice. Elite gifts, elite insulation, public institutions pressed into service of private vanity, and a media cycle forced to debate the packaging instead of the power structure. The details change, the script does not. The powerful behave as if the state is an extension of their personal brand, and then rely on procedural language to launder the arrangement. That is why the question is not whether one aircraft was switched for another. The question is why a foreign gift to a president is treated as a debatable inconvenience rather than the obvious symptom of a degraded political order. The larger lesson: a democracy does not collapse only through coups and uniforms. It also erodes when elected power becomes so personalized that foreign patrons, security theater, and weak institutional boundaries all start serving the same man. This story is a small example of a larger system: executive impunity, elite indulgence, and a governing class that keeps discovering new ways to act as if the republic is their property. You've been listening to Systemic Error. Thanks to Alternet for today's article. With the automated voice of John, thanks for listening.